just go.
All right, so can you just first tell me your name and the year you graduated high school?
My name is Karen Asdal, and I graduated East Meadow High School in 1980.
That's awesome. Can you describe your graduating class for me? Like, how big was it? How diverse was it, ethnically and socioeconomically?
I believe it was a little bit over 620 something, I think it was, we had in our graduating class. And I think we were just your average middle class to upper middle class families in the neighborhood, yeah.
What would you think, like, the ethnic breakdown was?
Oh, we were just, it was basically just white, not too many, like Irish American, German American, that kind of, wasn't too diverse. It wasn't too diverse.
So the neighborhood sounds like it was pretty homogenous. Like, how would you describe, like, what would it look like as compared to now? Do you find that there are any differences?
Well, it's a lot more diverse right nowadays.
What would you say has changed, like, for better or for worse?
Oh gosh.
If anything. Or just stuff that you've noticed, like just general observations.
Like a lot of the stores are changing. There's stores changing to accommodate the new cultures that are in the neighborhood. Where before we didn't have those stores. We had a lot of like little candy stores and stuff when we were growing up. Those have disappeared. What else? A lot of shops closed down, and they just changed. Different kinds of shops came into the area, and old ones left. Trying to think what we had. We had like a little bakery. Bakeries are leaving. What else? We used to have butcher shops in the neighborhood. People would walk to the butcher and buy their meat. People don't do that anymore. Little drug stores, which are gone, and the big drug stores have taken over. What else? What did we have? We had like we had game rooms when we were little. Not little, but in high school. Like you would go, because you didn't have video games at home, so they actually had like game rooms where you would go and play video games. Movie theaters, we had movie theaters that are disappearing, that have disappeared, and now we used to have like one or two theaters, and then they've disappeared, and then all the big theaters opened up.
So that's pretty much what you did on your weekends? You went to the movies, did stuff like that was specifically in the town, pretty much?
Pretty much. As kids, we had a library bus. We had a bus that actually on weekends came around and picked us up and took us to the library. And of course, what we did, being where the library is, we would walk across the street where Home Depot is. That was a store like, it was called Modell's. Well, Modell's is still there, but it was a different kind of Modell's. It was like a Walmart, and we would shop in Walmart or Modell's at the time. And that whole shopping center where all those stores are, there was a game store, and there was just different shops in there. And we would take the bus and walk over there.
Did a lot of people have their own cars, like among your friends?
In high school, not a lot of people had their own cars. They used to have to share with the parents and use the parents' car when it was available. Some had their own cars, though, but not as many as today.
When did you get your first car?
It wasn't my own, but I got my first, I shared the car during high school. I shared my car, used my parents' car, and then I think when I graduated high school, I got a hand-me-down from them.
So you said you would go to like Modell's or like that shopping center on the weekends with your friends. What was like the ethnic mix? It was all just pretty straight Caucasian?
Yeah. Caucasian. We didn't have much else.
That's
Yeah,
so so you definitely think it's changed so much since then?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot more, all mixes. A lot more Indian people, Spanish people. I think there's even some Afro-American people.
If there were any that were around when you were in high school, did you notice if they were treated any differently, or if people avoided them? Because a lot of the history of suburbia is it wasn't meant for people other than Caucasians. So was there anything, like anybody of any different races while you were in high school at all?
We very, very few, but I don't recall anybody being, like, any problems with them or anybody being treated differently. But we definitely had very, like, one or two, but...
So you've stayed in East Meadow your whole life. You were born here, raised here, and now you have your own family here. Are you happy that you stayed? If you did it all over, would you stay in East Meadow again?
Yeah, I would stay here again. Definitely.
What do you like about this town?
Oh, it's a nice neighborhood. It's a nice family neighborhood. Parks, close to everything.
Do you find that there's still like a community aspect? Like, do you socialize with your neighbors?
Unfortunately, I think we wave, we say hello, but nothing like we did years ago. But I tend to think that that's the same everywhere. I'm not really sure. But years ago, people would sit on their front lawns, and you would see somebody sitting outside. You'd sit next to them, and all the kids would play together on the block. There'd always be somebody outside playing, and you'd just go outside, and there was somebody out there, and all the kids in the neighborhood played together. But nowadays, you don't see anybody.
Why do you think that's changed? Or when would you say that changed?
I think everybody's busy. Everybody's working. Years ago, a lot of the people, my parents, a lot of women weren't really working yet. I think it was the beginning of moms going to work and having careers and stuff. So I think the mothers were home more back then. And so everybody's busy now. And everybody arranges play dates, and everybody's afraid to leave their kids outside, and so there's nobody out there anymore.
Do you think that the suburbs are dangerous? Like, do you think, like, the mentality to keep your kids inside and away from strangers, do you think that's smart? Do you think it's like...
No, I think you have to teach your kids to be aware and to teach them what to do. I think avoiding it isn't the right thing, because we had problems when we were growing up too, but they told us what to do. Run away. Run away, and that's what we did.
So for your Holton life, what did your parents do? Where did they work?
We owned a bakery, but my mom didn't work at all in the bakery, just my father. So she was a stay-at-home mom.
Did you have any siblings?
One brother.
Was she just the typical, like, dinners on the table when your dad got home?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, dinner every night.
Worked on the house?
Yeah, every night. And she did all the chores at home and all the cleaning, all the cooking, and he went to work.
So, you work. So, why, like, do you think that is, like, a totally novel concept that is just, like, would have been unheard of? Like, did you know any moms that really worked a lot when you were growing up?
Yes, I knew some, but a lot of them didn't. There was some that, there was a lot that didn't work. But there was a lot that also would go to work, would take care of the kids during the day. The dad would come home, and then they would work, say, like a 4 to 12 shift when the father was home. So one of them was always home with the children, that kind of thing. So. Or they had part-time jobs, in the evening when not necessarily 4 to 12, but a part-time job.
But nothing to this scope.
Yeah, nothing, not like not like today.
Aside from like families being so racially diverse, like even now, like there's divorced parents, like different kinds of parents. Like, was it odd for you to have any friends that had divorced parents or anything like that? It was all pretty standard.
It was all
family.
pretty. Yeah, everybody had two parents, and back then, very rare to have some like a divorced parents.
Okay, well, I think.
And here in this neighborhood, anyway, among my friends, yeah, there weren't many.
All right, well, I think I'm good. Thank you for letting me interview you.